Grab 2 pack of paint sticks from the home improvement store and a shelf liner from the dollar store. Unravel and lay out the shelf liner. Add hot glue to the back of one of the paint sticks and adhere it to the end of the shelf liner. Trim and cut the end of the shelf liner where you want the armrest table to stop and adhere the last paint stick. Then trim off the other end of the shelf liner. And now you have a stylish and functional bendable sofa armrest to use for drinks or snacks that can contour to any sized armrest.
Here's 5 living room hacks you'll wish you'd seen sooner. If you're like me, I've had trouble getting that wire on the back hung on the wall. The solution is to take a fork. Place it on the nail and then take the wire around the fork, let it slide down while holding the fork, and pull that fork right out. It will catch that nail every time. Are you sick of losing your remotes and your cell phones behind the pillows or in the crevices on your couch? Grab a shoe holder. It's a perfect way to go ahead and just put it over the end of your couch. You can tuck it in between the cushions and it makes a great counterweight. And then you can take your remotes, cell phones, everything you need, and they're easy to get to when you need them. Instead of putting a side table next to your couch, I've got an easy solution for you. Go ahead and grab some bamboo cutting boards from the Dollar Tree. All you need is 2 of them. Take one of them and cut it right down the middle. And then we're going to grab some Jenga pieces. Got those from Dollar Tree also. With a little bit of wood glue right on the edge, you can glue 3 of these up and down each of the smaller sides. Just go ahead and glue all of those. Now the glue is going to go ahead and squeeze out the side. Don't worry about that. You can wipe it up later. Now take a little stick and put it across the 3 on one side and use a clamp to hold it down. Pressure is what makes glue work the best. Once you got it glued up, take those cut pieces of bamboo and put it right down the side. But we're going to glue it first, right along the edge and also along the Jenga piece. Once you put it on there, we just got to clamp it on both sides. Hold it on there for at least a couple of hours. Again, clean up any glue that squeezes out. Once that gets all dried up, it's going to be super strong. And it looks like a little mini table. It will fit right over the arm of your couch, and it works great as a side table. You can use it for your remotes or that fresh cup of hot cocoa, and it sits perfect and level. Got a craft or a piece of art you want to hang on the wall, but you can never get the screws level or in the right spots when you hang it up? I've got a solution for you. When you got those 2 hooks, all you got to grab is some masking tape. Go ahead and pull out a nice good strip, and you're going to place it right under where the hooks go. Once you tape it down, flip those hooks over. We're going to need those to mark with a pencil or pen on the tape where it goes. Peel that tape right off, and there's 2 ways you can do this. You can put the tape directly on the wall and use those to mark where they go, or what you can do is take that tape and put it on the top of a level. Go ahead and bend the sides over right where the marks are, and then you take that level and put it right up against the wall. Make sure you got a level surface right there, and then you mark exactly where those marks are. That is exactly where the nails are going to go. Hang your picture up, and it's going to be level and perfect every time.
Grab a wood dowel rod that is 1 1/8 inch in diameter and a set of 2 wood finials. On the end of each of the dowel rods, drill a hole that is centered and about 1 inch deep. Take both the dowel rod and the 2 finials and spray paint them in a color of your choosing. It works best if you spray several light coats for even coverage. Once everything is dry, screw in the finials to the end of the rod to make sure they fit. Now take a couple of simple J-hooks. Take a couple of wrenches and pull so the J-hook opening is just a little bit wider. Now take these J-hooks and screw them into the wall with a drill above a window. You may need to use a screwdriver to tighten them into the wall. To give your room a sense of added height, place the hooks so they are closer to the ceiling rather than closer to the window. With 1 finial removed from the dowel rod, thread 2 curtain panels onto the rod and then screw the finial back on. Hang the drapery rod and curtain panels onto the J-hooks in the wall. Depending on the size of your window, you may need to hang 1 or 2 of the curtain tabs on the outside edge of the J-hooks so the curtain looks even across the top of the rod. You now have a classic drapery rod for hanging curtains for just a few dollars and very little invested time. Head to your local hardware store and buy a sheet of OSB. First, cut the OSB into 15-inch squares. You will need 3 of these squares. Apply wood glue to the edge of one of the squares and place it vertically on the edge of another, creating a 90-degree angle. Screw in 2-inch corner brackets to secure the L shape. Don't use the screws that come with the brackets as they will be too long. Instead, use some 1/2-inch screws. Set aside those original screws though, and you will use them later. Screw in 2 more brackets and you will now have a U shape. Place a 14-inch 2x4 between the 2 side pieces to act as a temporary brace. Cut a piece of fabric that is at least 50 by 20 inches. Remove the temporary brace and line the inside of the U shape with the fabric with about 2 inches hanging over the edges. Take a staple gun and staple the fabric onto the outside of the U-shaped wood. I used a pneumatic stapler, but you can also use a regular hand staple gun. Fold the side edges in and staple around the outside of the U-shape. Again, it is very important that you are pulling the fabric taut before each staple. Now, take that 2x4 piece and wrap it in a piece of fabric. Use your stapler to wrap and secure the fabric. It's just like wrapping a package. Press the wrapped 2x4 back into the center of the U-shape. Take some of those original screws that came with the brackets and screw the 2x4 in place from the outside of the box. Now take a large piece of fabric, find the center of one edge, and staple it wrong side up to the center of the box. Now place a pool noodle from the dollar store and center it on the box, tucking it in against the stapled fabric. Wrap the fabric over the noodle, pulling the fabric taut and securing it with the staple in the center. Continue to staple around the pool noodle, tucking it into the fabric as you go. Continue with the same process with 5 more pool noodles until the wood box is covered. This can take some time. In fact, you may feel like you are in a wrestling match with the pool noodles. Stick with it. You might occasionally need to tuck and fold some fabric before stapling in order to get a smooth finish on top of the noodles. I actually ran out of fabric and needed to piece another piece of fabric in between 2 pool noodles before continuing. This was pretty easy to do. Pull the loose fabric at the end of the wrapped pool noodles over the edge of the bottom wood and staple along the inside edge so you have a clean finish. Cut away any excess fabric. I hope this inspired you to take some wood, some fabric, and some pool noodles and create your own comfy and stylish ottoman. Thanks for watching Home Talk. I'll see you next time.